Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really tackling something crucial for businesses everywhere.
Which is?
Sustainable procurement. You know, manufacturing, retail, healthcare, logistics, everyone's feeling the pressure.
Or absolutely. There's this huge push to, well, reduce environmental impact, uphold ethical standards.
Exactly. But the old ways of buying things, they often fall short, don't they?
They really do.
Yeah.
Traditionally, procurement was this juggling act. Cost, efficiency.
Sustainability was kind of an afterthought. Or maybe a trade-off.
Pretty much. And that approach, well, it means missed opportunities, real inefficiencies down the line.
Right. But what if we could, integrate sustainability properly, make it core to procurement, and still get good business results?
That's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where something like artificial intelligence, AI, is starting to make waves.
Yes. AI is looking like a really powerful catalyst here, helping companies line up procurement with, ESG goals.
Environmental, social, governance.
While keeping things profitable, maybe even more profitable.
And that's exactly what we want to dive deep into today. How AI actually enables sustainable procurement. Not just theory, but practice.
Some real practical insights for you listening.
Yeah.
And, being at ShakeDeal, we're really focused on using tech to push procurement forward. I see this potential every day.
So ShakeDeal is in this space.
Oh, yeah. Our platform is, we're actively working to make sustainable procurement easier, more achievable for all kinds of businesses.
Interesting. So where should we start? I mean, the challenge is, why has this been so hard historically?
Good starting point. What are those big hurdles?
I think a major one is just visibility, or the lack of it, really, into ESG factors in the supply chain.
Meaning what, exactly?
Well, companies often struggle just to get reliable data. How much carbon are suppliers emitting? What are their labor practices really like?
It's hard to choose sustainable partners if you don't have that info. Like a retailer wanting ethical goods.
But they can't tell who's actually walking the walk. It's tough.
It feels like you're guessing sometimes. And then you add in the complexity of modern supply chains.
Oh, totally. Global networks, layers of suppliers, direct, indirect.
And it's the indirect ones that are often the big unknown, right? I read somewhere 70% of emissions can come from them.
That's a common estimate, yeah. 70%. It's a massive blind spot for environmental impact. A huge chunk you might not even see.
Wow. Okay, so visibility is one. What else?
Then there's the classic issue, cost. The perception, anyway.
The idea that green costs more.
Exactly. That sustainable options are just inherently pricier upfront. So a manufacturer might say, skip the eco-friendly material because the budget's tight right now.
Even if it might save money later, that immediate cost pressure is real.
Very real. And then compliance, regulations.
Oh, that's a minefield. It's always changing.
It is. Keeping up with carbon taxes, new labor laws in different regions, it takes a lot of resources.
And getting it wrong can be expensive. Fines, reputation damage.
Potentially millions in fines, yeah. It's not trivial.
So visibility, complexity, cost, compliance. Quite a list.
And what makes it all worse? Often it's manual processes, fragmented data, stuff scattered everywhere.
Right. Trying to piece it all together manually is just overwhelming.
Exactly. It makes getting that full picture, making informed, sustainable choices incredibly difficult.
Okay, so that really sets the stage. This is where AI comes in, offering a different path.
A fundamentally different approach, yes.
How so? Let's start with maybe how it helps pick suppliers. That seems foundational.
It is. AI is brilliant at crunching huge amounts of data, evaluating potential suppliers on a whole spectrum of ESG criteria.
So going beyond just a basic check.
Way beyond. It can look at real-time emissions data, labor practices reported in news, certifications, social media sentiment, things humans just couldn't process at scale.
So it builds a much richer picture of a supplier.
Precisely. We've seen, for instance, food producers use AI to pinpoint suppliers with, say, 20% lower emissions than their current ones.
Right.
Just by analyzing data that was previously inaccessible or too complex.
That level of analysis is a real game changer. And actually, this is an area where at ShakeDeal, our tech makes a difference.
How does that work?
Well, our platform gives businesses access to this huge curated network, over 500,000 products. And many suppliers are already vetted for certain sustainability aspects.
So it simplifies that initial search.
Yeah, it helps overcome that first hurdle, just finding potential eco-conscious vendors easily.
That curated network sounds useful. Okay, so AI helps choose better suppliers. What about how things get moved around? Logistics. That's got a big footprint too.
Huge, absolutely. Think about all the trucks, ships, planes.
Yeah, the transportation piece.
AI algorithms can analyze all sorts of variables there, routes, schedules, even packaging choices.
All to cut down carbon output.
Primarily, yes. Finding the most fuel-efficient routes, consolidating shipments so you have fewer trucks on the road,
hmm
that kind of thing.
And does it work? Are there results?
Definitely. We've seen logistics firms cut their emissions by like 15% using AI for route optimization and better load consolidation.
15% is pretty significant.
It really is. And it's actually something we try to facilitate too, like on ShakeDeal, offering free delivery on many orders. That encourages users to consolidate orders within our network.
Ah, so that indirectly reduces trips, lowers the overall footprint.
Exactly. It's about making efficiency easier.
Okay, smart. Now let's swing back to compliance. You said keeping up with rules is tough. How does AI help there?
It can essentially act like a continuous monitoring system.
Watching regulations and suppliers.
Both. It tracks regulatory changes globally in real time, and it can flag potential risks with suppliers, maybe reports of dodgy labor practices pop up somewhere.
So it alerts you before it becomes a major problem.
Ideally, yes. We know of retailers avoiding hefty fines. One case was like $500,000 because their AI system flagged non-compliance with new EU rules before it hit them.
Proactive risk management, that's valuable.
Incredibly valuable. And, having support available, like 247 assistance, to quickly address any flagged issues is also key. You need to act fast sometimes.
Makes sense. You need the alert, but also the means to respond.
Right. Okay, so AI helps avoid the bad stuff, non-compliance, high emissions. Can it also help promote the good stuff, like circular economy practices?
Yes, definitely. Its data analysis capabilities are perfect for that.
How so? Identifying recycling opportunities.
Exactly. Or reuse or repurposing. AI can analyze a company's waste, for example, then scan the market for suppliers offering materials with high recycled content.
So finding those circular sources.
Yeah. We've seen construction firms use AI to source like 30% recycled materials this way, things they might not have found otherwise.
30% is quite a jump.
It is. And it's not just about end of life. AI can also help predict demand much more accurately.
Ah, so you don't overorder stuff in the first place.
Precisely. Better forecasting means less overstocking, which means less wasted resources right from the start. Optimizing resource use.
That's a really important angle. Reducing consumption up front.
Absolutely. And looking even further ahead, AI can sometimes spot trends, right? Like shifts towards sustainable products.
You mean predicting what customers will want?
Sort of. Analyzing market data, consumer chatter online. It can forecast rising demand for, say, eco-friendly packaging or sustainable fabrics.
Which lets businesses get ahead of the curve.
Exactly. A fashion brand, for instance, might use AI insights to pivot towards sustainable materials before it's mainstream, potentially boosting sales and grabbing market share.
Okay, so AI isn't just about defense, mitigating risk and emissions. It can be about offense, too, finding efficiencies, spotting opportunities.
That's a great way to put it. It aligns sustainability with actual business value.
Do we have some solid, real-world examples of companies putting this together and seeing results?
We do, yeah. There's a manufacturing firm.
Yeah.
They integrated AI across supplier selection and logistics.
Okay, hitting both areas.
Right, and they cut their supply chain emissions by 18%. Pretty good. But remarkably, they also saved $1 million annually.
$1 million. Through efficiency gains.
Exactly. Yeah. Better routing, better supplier choices.
Yeah.
It all added up. It shows sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand.
That's a powerful case study. Any others?
There's also a healthcare provider. They used AI-driven audits to vet suppliers more deeply on ethical practices.
Okay, and the result?
They managed to increase their sourcing of ethically produced materials by 25%, which significantly boosted their ESG reputation.
And reputation is huge, especially in healthcare.
Absolutely vital. So these aren't just niche examples. They show real, tangible benefits across different sectors.
Those are really compelling stories. Okay, so for organizations listening, thinking, right, maybe we should look into this, what are the first steps? How do you actually get started with AI for sustainable procurement?
Well, it's definitely a journey, not a flick of a switch. A good starting point is to really get clear on your own sustainability goals. What matters most to you?
And where are the biggest gaps right now?
Exactly. Identify those pain points in your current procurement. Then maybe pilot an AI tool in one specific area.
Like supplier vetting, maybe. Something manageable.
Supplier vetting or onboarding is a great place to start. It lets you test the waters, see the impact, learn from it without trying to boil the ocean.
That makes sense. Start small, prove the concept. What about data? AI needs data, right?
Oh, absolutely critical. You need to integrate the relevant data streams, information on your current suppliers, any ESG data you do have, your logistics records.
Bringing it all together?
Yeah. The better the data you feed the AI, the better the insights you get back. And, crucially, leverage any support available. Whether it's from the tool provider or internal expertise, make sure you're using it effectively.
Right. Support is key. And we make sure that kind of support, like 24/7 assistance, is there for users of our platform too, because implementation matters.
That's important. So after a successful pilot, what's next?
Scale it up.
Strategically, yes.
Mhm.
Expand the use of AI to other areas. Maybe logistics optimization next, then tackling compliance more broadly.
So a gradual rollout.
The key is to embed sustainability thoughtfully into procurement, using AI as the enabling tool without messing up your day-to-day operations.
Okay, that sounds like a practical roadmap. So wrapping things up a bit, the main takeaway seems to be that sustainable procurement isn't just a nice to have anymore.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's rapidly becoming the standard, the future.
And AI isn't just hype. It's a practical, powerful enabler making it actually happen now.
Precisely. AI transforms procurement. Better supplier choices, lower emissions, solid compliance, more circularity. It touches every stage.
And ultimately, the companies leaning into this, using AI, they're not just doing good, they're setting themselves up for success.
Definitely. They hit ESG goals, yes, but they also often find cost savings, boost efficiency.
And gain a real competitive advantage in a market that cares more and more about this stuff. And, from our side at ShakeDeal, we're genuinely excited to be providing the tech that helps businesses make that leap.
It really leads to a final thought, doesn't it, for you listening?
Yeah.
Given how fast AI tools are evolving, how much more accessible they're becoming, how profoundly do you think this technology will reshape things? Not just procurement, but maybe the entire idea of what responsible business looks like in the coming years.
That's a big question.
It is. It's a significant shift underway, and platforms like ShakeDeal seem to be right in the middle of enabling it. It's definitely something to ponder.